and welcome back. I have been super excited to do a garden tour. I absolutely love to see what is blooming in everyone's gardens, and mine has been a little bare, but because we had this heat wave for about 4 or 5 days here in Massachusetts, it really had everything growing and we have blooms going. So I'm super excited to share with you today. And hi, if you're new here, my name is Kristy. I'm located in Massachusetts, Zone 6A. So it is the last weekend in June and I finally have some things to show you. So I will take you over to my vegetable garden first. I will show you the planters that we did together. My cut flower garden has a few tiny first blooms, nowhere near to be making bouquets. I will show you my perennial garden. Yesterday I tried to do as much weeding as possible because I was so embarrassed with how bad the weeds are. Between the heat and all the rain that we had, the weeds have fully taken off. They were getting taller and taking over my poor winter sown perennials. They had like no sun because they were just completely blocked by the weeds. So I did a lot of weeding yesterday and also on Friday and Thursday night as well. Madeline and I also were able to harvest some tomatoes for our pasta dish that we absolutely love to make. So I was actually kind of happy that I started the tomatoes so early because I did get about 2 small harvests of them already from my sun golds and my cherry tomatoes. No larger tomatoes quite yet, but they are starting to put on fruit, some of my determinate tomatoes, so I'll definitely show you there. I do have my winter sown zinnias that are starting to bloom and they look fantastic. I didn't pinch those. And I will also say that my winter sown zinnias look healthier than the ones I do in my cut flower garden. Now, I'm not sure if it has to do with the soil because these beds over here, they are just all nice, new, fresh compost. And then I did do some cover crop last year and I've been fertilizing. So over there in my vegetable garden, the soil is fantastic. I would say as a beginner gardener, the ones over in my cut flower garden, it still was tilled. There's still a lot of rocks and roots. And I did put a few inches of 50-50 mix. And it was fertilized a little bit with the worm castings, but it's nowhere near as well as it is over there because it is a lot of growth into my actual soil instead of having them into the garden bed. So I'm going to try and make this quick, but I'm just thrilled. We will do the vegetable garden. My perennial bed, so however, did not have any weeding done yet. I have learned though that next year I will definitely be putting some weed barrier with my cut flower garden because let me tell you, weeding between those is absolutely no joke and no fun whatsoever. So next year, I didn't even realize I had a ton of landscaping fabric left over in my garage, which would have definitely covered. I will probably be putting some in when I get my fall succession in. I just did a video on that. Go ahead and check it out. And if you have any tips or tricks with getting some stalk or snapdragons to harvest in the fall right before our first frost, please go ahead and share. So let's go over to the vegetable garden. It's starting to get some sun right now, and I will also take you to my very sad sunflower bed. So let's go. Now, before taking you over there, I just wanted to show you what it looks like from the deck. I am absolutely so happy with what's going on. Over here in this bed, we have carrots, determinate tomatoes, and I also have my sugar snap peas, which are trellising. These are also all determinate tomatoes. Over here, we have 2 pepper beds. It also has the zinnias over there to bring some pollinators in. I have my huge sunflowers, which we did with Madeline together. They are getting ginormous. And at the bottom of the sunflowers is my squash and zucchini, which we did direct sowing. Behind on this trellis over here are the cucumbers and dill. And then these 3 over here are all indeterminate tomatoes. So that's going to be my sun golds, my cherry tomatoes, my yellow pear. I might have some salad tomatoes that I harvested from my farm share, but there might be 1 or 2 heirloom tomatoes in there as well. And then on the outskirts, we have marigolds and some other pots and containers that we did the cucumbers and pole beans in. So let's take a look a little bit closer. I would also like to introduce you to Pelly the peacock. She was a Mother's Day present from my daughter. And I do have Some of our Rebecca, the Black-Eyed Susan vine, it's starting to creep up. And if you do see any white powder on the outside of my perennial garden, I put some stuff for the insects because we have been taken over by spiders and I can't deal with it. So we just tried getting rid of those. Also over here, this is my raspberry area, and then I also have some blackberries too. The raspberries are getting super tall, as you can see. Some have some fruit, but I'm not sure what will happen due to the heat wave. But the same thing, my blackberries are starting to have fruit as well. We have our sugar snap peas. We did do some harvesting, and I definitely need to harvest them as well. We have lots of sugar snap peas that need to be plucked off today. Super thrilled with that. And then look at these determinate tomatoes. We do have a few fruit on them. We did have more earlier. However, with the heat wave, it kind of, let's see if I can focus here. They kind of just dried out. So, but I do have some fruit over there, which I'm thrilled about. And look at all of our cute little marigolds that we started together. They are starting to bloom as well. So these are the indeterminate tomatoes. We have our cucumbers coming in these cages, and then the Kentucky pole bean. It is also starting to vine up. And I have some more determinate tomatoes in these grow bags. So we're trying a couple of different things. We're trying grow bags. We are doing some in pots over here. I like to add some in pots as well, especially since we had so many left over. We have more determinate tomatoes. It is super exciting to see some fruit. They just exploded with this heat wave, so I was thrilled. And look at these nasturtiums. They are just taking off. Best trap crop ever. They will cascade into the pathways, so definitely happy to see those taking off. And same thing with my my basil. It's starting to bounce back because it got hit really hard when we had that cold front coming in. But yeah, the nasturtiums are looking fantastic. And up this trellis will be our cherry tomatoes and sun golds. So as I mentioned, we did harvest 2 small little bits of tomatoes, and they are mostly from these vining, but I just got a good chuckle because I do have a volunteer tomato plant and it's growing in the rocks. There's also weed barrier too. It might be getting some of the soil from over here underneath the beds. But yeah, I left it there. I want to see how it does. And these are all of our green beans that we direct sowed together. They're getting super tall. I usually get 1 or 2 harvest tops, and they are also starting to flower. I'm also super excited because the bee balm I transplanted last year is starting to bloom, which I'm thrilled about. We have so much bee balm on the outskirts. Cucumbers are starting to take off. And what I also like to do is if I see these little tendrils right here, I kind of try to help them out, and I will just help them weave over there. So like over here, everything starts to go towards the sun. So I try to have them not lean so much, and I will help them out if I see their little tendrils trying to hook onto something. So there's that. And then we have our dill. It smells so good, and I love adding it to my salmon. So I haven't harvested too much yet, but I just am thrilled with the dill. And as always, I have nasturtiums in all of the corners. It is just such a great trap crop. We have oranges. I haven't seen any of my purple ones take off yet. Now look at these sunflowers. Holy moly. So I planted these with my daughter. We did it in about under 5 minutes. I did a quick little video of it, and I transplanted them out, and they were doing great. Some of them are a lot smaller. Unfortunately, I do have some with my determinate tomatoes, and they are just being towered over, so I'm not sure if they'll ever bloom. But I have my squash and zucchini down there. And the funniest thing is, last year I had so many slugs. I'm sure you heard me talking about it over and over and over. I have not seen a single slug yet, but look at these zinnias. So we have these zinnias in between the peppers. The peppers are also taking off. I have a purple pepper here. We have some smaller green ones. So I'm going to harvest these. I'm going to harvest these soon. Some of them, though, I do have to go ahead and just pluck off. But I have peppers taking off, which I'm thrilled about. And if we come this way, we have some here. These will turn yellow when they are ready. I have lots more zinnias in my pepper beds, which might also start taking over some of the peppers. So we got to figure out how we're going to combat this. Same thing with like my marigolds. This thing is massive. I might move this over, but I do have jalapenos taking off from MI Gardener. So I'm very excited with the peppers because I thought that they were just going to stunt and not do so well, but they're rebounding. The heat wave has really helped take off. And then these are all of my tomatoes. As you can see, we love cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to take you in. So we did harvest from these the other day. Again, we have nasturtiums in the corners. But yes, they are just getting super tall. So they're either up with the Florida weave at the bottom. These ones right here, they're just corralled over and over. And then with some of them, I did show you how I am training them. Oh, this one needs to get fixed. So this, we're just gonna wrap it around a few times. So that way it'll just keep growing upwards. Same with these. This one also needs to go up and around. But yeah, everything is looking fantastic over in the garden. And again, we just have more red bee balm that will be taking off. I love the scent of it. I highly suggest getting red bee balm if you can. We also have more of our vines. They are starting to grow up. Those have also taken off. Oh, look at this one. So cute and exciting. Love the bee balm. And this is the perennial bed. Right now, not much going on except for the feverfew. As you can see, there's so many weeds. I am going to plan on coming in here later, but the feverfew is just stealing the show. I wanted this as a cut flower, but this will be more for the pollinator since I don't have any flowers for bouquets to go with them, but they are just so stinking cute. All right, now we're gonna walk over to another small perennial bed where I did do some weeding the other day. That has some of my cosmos that are growing right now and some coneflower. I have a lot of it in the garden. I'll show you the ones that I did last year. They're starting to get their blooms, but let me just show you this quick over here. Super excited. So this is my small perennial garden. It has 2 peony bushes. But my cosmos are starting to take off. My bee balm on the side. Or no, sorry, this is anise hyssop right here. And then I do have some bee balm. 1 perennial sunflower came back from last year, or maybe 2. I'm not quite sure. I grew them last year and they were cut down by some animal that was living under our deck. I was pretty sure it was my chipmunk, or rabbit, I should say. And then I have more cosmos coming over here with some blooms. So I'm very excited. This you can actually see the ground. So that is great. And then these are going to be my Indian summer Rebecca too. Here is the echinacea I wanted to show you. It is starting to bloom and I just can't get over how tall it is for its 2nd year in my garden. I also sprinkled a perennial seed packet here last year before I even knew what was going on. So I have lots of yarrow that's starting to come up right now. So this will bloom soon. These are all going to be for the pollinators. Can you want to say hi?
Hi.
And some pansies are in there. But my coneflower is going to steal the show. I do have some phlox as well. And again, we have some yarrow. So I'm thrilled. All right, we also have to talk about these garden containers from Costco. We filled those together. Everything besides the basil on top of this one and the tomato on the other ones were all direct seeded. So I have my parsley, actually I lied. Parsley we did together. It looked so sad when I transplanted it, and it is just taken off. So I have parsley. We do have some lettuce. I do have some weeds I do need to get through here. Again, nasturtiums are a must. These nasturtiums are popping in, and I have marigolds. What else do we have over here? So we have slow bolt cilantro on the bottom. But yeah, the basil, I've been harvesting a lot off of this. We have the pool also up, so the kids are eager to get in, but it's freezing now. And then over on this one, the nasturtiums are also stealing the show. Let's see if I can show you. So they are just getting huge. I just love nasturtiums. They are just such a good trap crop overall, but I just love the look of them. I also have some more marigolds and lettuce growing in here. The cilantro has seen better days, but I think honestly the cilantro is just getting taken over by the nasturtiums. So they probably won't do too hot, but that's okay. I also have some of my dahlias in containers because I dabbled in trying to save them in some pine shavings. I thought I lost all of them, and I was like, I'm gonna clean out the bins, and lo and behold, I had, I think, 12 or 15 of them that actually started sprouting. So I put them in here, so I'm gonna show you those really quick, and then we're gonna go over to the cut flower garden. So this container has one. These are all either from Costco or seedlings that I purchased, so I have some here. I also have a few here that are sprouting, so I'm super excited. I did not divide any of these, by the way, and then I'll show you my other container. And I also put my dahlias in this container. This is from Costco that I got also for my birthday, so I had that in as well. And then I also had some straw flower. These are my patio deck containers. We also did these together. We are just bursting with flowers and color. I'm obsessed. My calendula is doing so much better on the deck than it's doing in my garden beds. I'm assuming it's due to the amount of sun, but they just look so pretty. And with the heat, I really think they just have taken off. Hello. Say hi, Mason. So now we're going over to the cut flower garden, and I do have a few blooms from zinnias, but I did pinch them, and I also pinched some more of my dahlias, but I do have one with some flowers. I will not be keeping this one for next year, but it's a nice single petaled yellow, which I'll show you. And my zinnias from the greenhouse, which were super leggy, have totally bounced back. So let me show you those. So these are my zinnias that looked so leggy and awful and just trampled over by my son. They have really perked up. I have to fix the netting because he kind of played with that too and tighten it up, but they have made a comeback. A lot of these are from Windfall, which I'm super excited about. I got those from seed swapping. Now over here, these are some dahlia seedlings, which I have not had time to completely weed yet. But these are also the zinnias that we started indoors. They are taking off now after this heat wave has just really helped out. So I've been trying to tackle the weeds. Like I said, I will definitely use weed barrier next year. Was so bummed to find out that I had some, not knowing. I do have some Queen Anne's lace over here. We have a lot of cress. It hasn't really taken off yet, so we'll see how that does. And I do have a basil patch I direct seeded. I need to go and get those weeded as well. But I had these poor bells of Ireland right here. We did that in the winter sowing, and they just did not do well. So I'm actually going to pull these, and I have some cinnamon basil that I will move in here shortly. And this is my Love Lies Bleeding right now. It is getting nice and tall with one lone straw flower back there. And some more of my King Coral Celosia. And then all of these are little seedlings for dahlias as well. They're doing kind of okay. This was a hard spot with the water. Over here we have some extra Gomphrena that I had in my winter sown straw flower. I really wish I would have taken the time and individually planted them instead of doing them in clusters. I think they would have done so much better growing wise, but you live and you learn. And then I have lots of celosia. We did some celosia here from winter sowing. Again, I really wish that I did them individually, but that's okay. But these are my individual celosias that we did together. And then these 2 rows right here where they're fuller were actually bought at the store. So we'll see how they do. And here are some of my dahlia seedlings, the first round. They are doing fantastic. As you can see, we are getting some little blooms starting. And I did have this one right here. I had 2 of them. I won't save this, but that's okay. I'm going to deadhead them. But I just love the yellow. I know it won't last long. So it's just a nice color, and then Madeline can keep these, so that'll be great. These are all of my Costco dahlias. I did lose a few due to them rotting from the rain that we had. I did some direct seeding. We have some cosmos and marigolds over here. We'll see. I gotta thin these out, but I wanted to get some direct seeding in. What? And here is my super sad sunflower patch. Due to Chippy the Chipmunk and his gang, they have eaten almost every single sunflower seed I have planted. I do have 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 out of, I don't even know, 100 or so. I spaced them tightly for bouquets and got nothing, but I gotta show you this. This is a compost bin. It has very little soil. It's all basically weeds. And I threw a tomato in here because I was gonna throw it away, and look, it's thriving in this bin. So I'm just gonna keep it here and we'll see what comes of it. I also started some in the greenhouse, but since it got so hot, I took them out. These are all sunflowers and only 1 left because look at all those shells. That chipmunk man was fine dining. So again, 80 sunflowers and I have 1 left. Now that is everything in the backyard. I will show you my front yard. I do have my pufferfish hydrangeas that are hopefully going to set some buds soon, but in between them I do have my Gomphrena and my raspberry ripple zinnias. Those zinnias have 1 or 2 blooms happening. And then I also want to show you where I planted all of my Rebecca as well. I do have 1 bloom on 1 of the flowers and a lot of buds on the others. And I do have my Costco hydrangea, which I have to show you because it rebounded and I'm pumped. And here are my hydrangeas up front. Now, don't mind the weeds. I have been trying to tackle them. But here are my little itty bitty zinnias, and then my Gomphrena is back there. Now, mind you, I did this probably 5 days ago, and look at the weeds. Awful, awful, awful. So these are my pufferfish hydrangeas, which I'm super excited to have. But these, oh, and then I have some white echinacea, but let me see if I can find, well, look, so we have like some tiny blooms coming in. And here is my first one. So I'm really hoping we get some more pinks in there. But I do have some Gomphrena back here, weed free, so that's good. But some blooms are slowly coming in. Now here is my front island. We have some hydrangeas. And I did some cone flowers. And what I thought I was planting was lupin, was actually my Chinese forget-me-nots. And they are adorable. So I'm actually happy with this mistake. But I do have 1 cone flower going, so hopefully the rest will catch up. But these are going to be some great hydrangeas. And I'm not sure what else that we have. I know we have some pink phlox. I can't remember what variety these are. And then we have these really cute solar lights right here. And we have our front entrance, and here is my Costco hydrangea. I did take a few clippings. I swore I killed this last year. We planted it and then we had a very crazy random frost and it was just black leaves, but it has bounced back and I am just so thrilled. So here is one of my favorites in our landscape. Besides the strawberry vanilla hydrangeas, which have not flowered yet. And up here we have all of my black-eyed Susans that we planted. Most of them are from winter sowing. And as you can see, we are starting to get some buds, which I'm super excited about. Everything is just bending towards the sun. It gets a lot of afternoon sun, midday sun. I do have one bloom here. This is the Indian blanket flower. How cute is that? So we have a few blooms, and then basically from here and all the way down is going to be my black-eyed Susans from my farm share where I harvested my own seeds. So I'm very excited about those, but I think this is just the prettiest little flower. So if you like to stay tuned and keep getting lots of updates, I am excited that we're starting to get some blooms, and hopefully more will be coming up in the next few weeks as it gets warmer and we are entering July. I am just anxiously waiting to get my cut flower garden going. So hopefully things will be progressing in the next few weeks as well, so I can get that opened as well. As always, go ahead and click like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I will see you all next time. Happy gardening. Bye.